I have to preface this by saying that I've never done anything like this before, so I apologize ahead of time just for everything regarding the audio here. I don't have much of a script, so it's gonna be rambly. You're welcome to turn off the sound and just watch the speed paint if you'd rather do that. But these videos have been popping up a lot lately. I wanted to try and make my own. We all know why I did watch live action, in case you're wondering, and it was an emotional roller coaster for all the wrong reasons. Which was to be expected considering it was my everything as a kid, and with Tecna being deleted out of existence together with every hint of sci-fi the show had, I just had to do something. Now don't get me wrong, there are a lot of things about the live action that are worse than that. Racism, fatphobia, homophobia, misogyny. But Tecna is just very personal to me. But this is not about the live action. I've been working on these for like 2 weeks straight, and I just had a lot of fun making these designs, and I want to talk about them. So let's actually try and get this over with and start with Bloom. I wanted all of the girls to have more of a sci-fi theme, so anime like Star Twinkle, Precure, and Corrector Yui, and also some Vocaloids became my main inspiration. Mostly with these wide, like rounded edges you'll see on their clothes. For Bloom, her dress was also inspired by some early concept art from before the show started. Her hair stayed mostly the same, it's a bit more poofy, and I gave her these extra bits of hair that are supposed to look like horns, because dragons sometimes have horns, right? I don't think the Great Dragon has horns in the show, but whatever, it's cute. I had a sketch of her with short hair, and while I love the look on her, I don't really think that's how she would have her hair at 16, but maybe when she gets a bit older. I tried giving her more reddish brown eyes at one point instead of blue. I don't know how well that's going to show up in the speed paint, and I did like it but decided to go with blue to make them pop more with the hair around them. Her wings are pretty similar. I changed the shape a bit to look more like dragonfly wings because haha, get it. I also, right at the end, changed them to be yellow instead to match that teardrop gem she has on her chest. I decided to give that to everyone, and she was the only one whose wings didn't match the color of it, and it was annoying me. And honestly, it works better than I thought it would with the red hair. Moving on to Stella, I made her shorts poofy and she got poofy sleeves because it's cute and it makes her more princessy. The poofy sleeves are also somewhat inspired by, again, early concept art with the off-shoulder look. I changed her wing shape a bit because I always thought her original looked like tulips, and that's more like something Flora would have. But I realized the new shape still looks like a flower. There's a lily instead, but whatever. It brings some moon crescent shapes with it. Her tiara is the same as in the outfit that Bloom found her in the first episode. And then the staff, I made just a new design that was supposed to have both moon and sun bits in it. I think the original staff was kind of bland. I don't really like the Nickelodeon redesign for it with those floaty bits. Like with Bloom, I tried giving her blue eyes to see what it would look like, but I like the original brown eyes better in the end. Also, when I was shading her, I was using this dark green before changing it to the color I was actually going to use, because it's just easier for me to see what I'm doing that way. But when I got to the hair, there was just something that felt really familiar about it, and it was driving me crazy. And then after I finished, it hit me. It was from this one episode where I think she borrowed some kind of hair product from Flora, and it just looked like she had dipped her hair in green paint. Onto Flora, you can see that I originally colored it much differently than what I ended up with. The way I colored these was that I used the eyedropper on official art and filled it in as well as I could with the new designs, and then I would shade, and then after that I would go back and adjust the colors to how I actually wanted them to be. It was just so that I would have something to look at while I was thinking it over some more. But she got even more flower petal shapes all around. I changed her boots into sandals. And for the teardrop gem, she doesn't have one normally, but her Charmix has one. And by that I mean the original Season 2 Charmix, not the Nickelodeon Charmix. So I put it around where the Charmix one was, but I also combined it with that flower necklace to not make it too crowded around there. The shape of her wings are the same, but I added another color to them since the others would also have 2 colors in their wings. I tried to kind of make the pattern on them match the fabric on her chest, because it reminds me of a leaf, but it ended up not being that noticeable. The shapes is more clear the earrings I ended up giving her. At first I was debating whether to give her the original earrings or not, but without any earrings, she is the only one without any accessory in her hair or around the face. I had a really cute sketch that had flowers in her hair, but I also do like her hair just being completely loose. So earrings it was. I also always liked how her nose looked and how it was different from the others. I would have liked to just given her the exact same nose, but it just didn't look right to me in my style. I still managed to make it somewhat different from the others though. Muse is the one I am still the most unsure of. I couldn't really turn to old concept art because what she looked like at first was nothing like what she is now. I wanted at least one of the girls to pretty much have her entire body covered like Tecna, so I extended the sort of see-through fabric on her stomach to cover most of her body. However, it just sort of looks like she's wearing her original design over it, so I don't really know if I'm satisfied with her, but this is what she will look like for now. Either way, I put a lot more purple ribbon because I really like that in the original on her arm. Hair is pretty much the same, just slightly less gravity-defying. I did change her eye color though. Originally she had really dark blue eyes, but I made them this kind of purplish brown. It ended up being this sort of middle ground between the warm colors of her clothes and the cold color of her hair, and I really liked it. Like Flora, her wing shape is the same, but I added some kind of pattern to them. The darker purple was sort of supposed to look like the black keys of piano, while the lighter color is the white keys. Tecna. Oh, Tecna. In a way, I'm glad she wasn't included in the live actions, that I didn't have to see her be treated so badly. She is just incredibly important to me for reasons that are stories for another time. While I think it's really cool how her original wings were like a 3D shape when all the others were flat, and how it would become this glider when she was actually flying, I decided to make them flat to fit better in with the others. The new shape is supposed to be like an extra pointy Fibonacci spiral, but I realized fairly late that if I change her wings, then I should also change her shoes, because in the original design they kinda had the same shape. So you can still see me trying to figure out how that would work in the sketch. Anyway, it's now connected to this short jacket that also covers all of her arms. I imagine those things on her wrist would also be used to like project holograms or something from. Her weird hood thing is now an actual hood that she can take off if she so desires. I thought about giving her some kind of visor connected to it, but I'm not sure how that would work with the soft fabric. She by far took the longest to decide on color for. I tried tons of different alternatives and shades of both light and dark purple that are gonna make the screen flicker like crazy. I'm sorry about that. I think it was mostly because unlike the original, the hood and the arms now had to be the same color, and also because I was still unsure about the area where her shoes and around her thighs. And finally, Aisha, or Layla, as she was known in the Swedish dub and many others. I think the name Aisha suits her more, though. I made the lighter part of her a bit more simple, and I gave her this crown that's the same color as her teardrop gem, like Bloom and Stella, since she's also a princess. The shape of the crown and like the belt thingy was something that only came to mind as I was doing the line art. It kind of reminds me of the pattern on the Pokemon Kyogre for some reason, but I mean it fits. I made a bit that like wraps around her see-through and also more flowy at the ends to give her more water in her design. I do like the original green, but I also did change it to more bluish green rather than the yellowish green for even more water. Her wings are a combination of her original wings and her Cyrenix wings, because I just love how they look. I ended up going with just stripes for the second color. I tried to make something more interesting, but just weren't cooperating. I tested some different eye colors for her as well, but I just like the blue on her. And that is all of them. Something I wish I had done would be giving them more differences in body types. if I ever do get back to them or do anything else with these designs, that is definitely something I will, at the very least, try to accentuate more. In the end, though, if you enjoy the live action, good for you. I think that as long as you don't try to deny the problems in something, you're fine with enjoying it. Like, I can't judge anyone from that kind of stuff. I loved Star Wars Episode 9. And the original Winx, of course, and that has many flaws too. But I do still love the original designs these were based on. This was just a fun experiment to satisfy my sci-fi magical girl cravings. Anyway, I think I've gotten all of that out of my system now, and if you got this far, thank you for listening to my ramblings. Now I can go back to doing what I was actually supposed to be doing.